My Lady Below Stairs by Emily Bryan. Bastardy has its privileges, Jane Tate muttered. She slogged across the snow-drifted alley from Lord Somerville's grand townhouse to his not-so-grand hen-house. No one else wanted to gather eggs on the bitterly cold morning, so Jane had been pressed into service, which suited her better than a dollop of milk in her tea. Cook might get suspicious if she volunteered again, but he was worth the touch of frostbite, she reminded herself. Before she pushed through the henhouse door, a hand grasped her elbow and pulled her into the shadows. Even though she had hoped for the very thing, the man's mouth swallowed a cry of surprise. He smelled of fresh straw and oiled leather and warm horseflesh, and tasted of heaven itself. Ian Michael McGregor, the head groom. His kiss warmed her. She would brave any cold for his touch, even if it were only for a moment. Lost in one another's arms, they barely heard her call her name. "Jane, where are you? I say, Jane, come quick!" They leapt apart. "It's Agnes. I must go." "What's wrong, Agnes? I can't stay here, but hurry, come along." Everything was wrong. Lady Sybil was missing. The house was in an uproar, and Lord Somerville had been called away. The sleazy secretary's only hope was the bastard daughter of the Lord's, the one that looked exactly like Lady Sybil, so much so that Lady Sybil had blackmailed Jane several times into sitting in on her lessons. Leaving Jane with one talent, she kept well hid from the remainder of the staff, lest they hold it against her. She could read and write, and not just fair, very well indeed. It had been bad enough she spoke like a lady. However, now it was about to get her into deep trouble, the kind of trouble she did not want or need. But when Ian McGregor's job was threatened and held over her head, either she cooperated or the secretary would give him the sack. And with the Lord called away, he had the authority to do it. Someone had done a great deal of spying to know she and Sybil had switched places before, and that she and Ian were sweet upon one another. Or there was a rat amongst the only friends that known both secrets. With the threat to Ian, Jane had no choice, and Agnes was about to pay the price. "Draw me a hot bath, Agnes. I must prepare for the ball tonight." Agnes glared at her friend, and Jane glared right back. "If I must play the part of Lady Sybil, you must play the part as well, and you cannot falter or we will all be in the suds." Agnes knew she was right, and her anger subsided. The haughty Lady Sybil would act exactly as Jane, and she must do it without fail. Not only was there an important ball that Lady Sybil must attend, but her father had already agreed to the betrothal between his daughter and the Viscount, and he was to ask for her tonight at the ball. Of course, when Ian hears of this, he loses his mind, thinking of his lovely Jane making love even for a minute with the Viscount. And what if Lady Sybil should decide to show up? No chance of that, since Lady Sybil had eloped with her lowly French painter. Or so it had seemed. So what could possibly happen at a ball where the belle of the ball is not really the belle at all? The Viscount is not who he pretends to be, and only wants Lady Sybil for her money. Lord Somerville decides to return early and attend the ball. Ian McGregor decides it's time to stand up for his lady love. Lady Sybil's guilt and love for her father overcomes her, and she must at least show up for the ball to tell the Viscount she won't marry him. And the painter is not who he pretends to be, and is willing to face the father and the entire time to keep his lady love. On top of all this, the Viscount's lady love is determined to keep him from marrying the chit for her money. It could only come to a head in a grand library in a grand mansion at a Christmas ball. I rate this story an A, and the heat level is a 2.